Now, I gotta look this up to make sure I'm live. With the flickering. Okay, so it says I'm live here. Perfect. Perfect. So we're good. All right. Oh, boy, do I have some stuff to talk about. Man, no one's here yet, but I'm going to share it real quick, and then I'm going to talk about what has happened, what has changed, and why I haven't released like an actual video yet. There is a reason, just haven't got to it yet. Whoa. That's the wrong one. Oh, already got some people popping in. Close this. Boop. Howdy. Man, first let me say something real quick. I just caught a picture of John Bailey, who is a very interesting person to know. Good on him for his tremendous weight loss. He's doing at first I was actually very concerned because of how quickly he was losing weight. But knowing that it's not what I feared, he did a great job. He's I mean, he looks great. He looks great. I'm proud of him. He's an inspiration. Um how are you? How are you guys? How are y'all doing? How's business going in your 2022? Well, that is actually what we're here to talk about. And hi, Joe. I got some water real quick. Mm. I've been well, at least trying to donate blood, so they've been having me drink a lot of water. And so I've been taking some of the extra gallons and half gallons in here and just filling this thing up, trying to figure out how many gallons this is. Basically, this is a fourth of a gallon. And I fill this up like 2, maybe 3 times a day, so about what I'm needed to be drinking. I think he went vegan to lose all that weight. Interesting. That I didn't know. I do know he was doing a lot of running and a lot of heading to the gym and stuff like that. And he had cut out some foods. I just didn't know which ones. But if he went vegan and he lost all that weight, man, I'm proud of him. Like I said. So anyway, talking about business, a lot has happened. Obviously, one of the reasons that I hadn't been posting any videos yet, and I have tons of ideas of what to post, and I am going to be posting a lot of stuff probably next month. Probably not this month because I have some comedy gigs coming up, and then at the beginning of next month, I have a comedy gig coming up. At least I think it might be. I don't remember. Um, Things have been busy. I had no intention of doing any more comedy, any more stand up, but I had already said yes to coming back and doing a gig at a place for a charity, and they went ahead and booked me basically a little over a year in advance. And after that point was when I was like, I kind of really don't care about doing comedy much anymore. And so I have to go back and do this. I said I would, so I'm going to go back and do this. So my friend who's actually going to be the feature, I'm going to open for him because I've been out of comedy for a while. Booked me 2 more shows to kind of help me get ready. He actually booked me 3 because we did one at the beginning of this month. Um, and so he's booking me 2 more to open for him. Those are coming at the end of this month. Anyway, so that's that. So I got a little bit of comedy coming up. And then everything involving the book, which I finally got. Is this the good one? Yeah, this is the good one. So I finally got my own copy of the good one. So I have a jank copy, which was kind of a trial and error version. And then Lulu owed me one more book because I had ordered like 3, and I gave one to Marissa uh, Falsone, who is one of the voice actors on the audiobook. I gave her one copy, and then they sent me another one. So I have my own, like, good, like, this is a legit, like, nice copy. And it actually turned out a whole lot better than I thought it would. It's just white. All you're seeing is just white. Every time I do this, every video, it's white, and I show you, and it's just like blots, just blots of white. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, can I leave that there? That's what people on their podcast do, right? They leave their books in the background at all times, staring at you. Um, but yeah, so I just finished the audiobook, which I actually thought after finalizing everything, I would be able to basically just post it and make it available like immediately. But it has to go through this kind of uh, I mean, it already went through quality. I think they just need to format it or something, or they're kind of repackaging it in a way that it can go to other platforms, but it should be available before the end of this month. Should be. I was hoping I'd already have a link to that, but turns out I don't. But I do have links in the description somewhere of this video. I don't know where it posts on the live streams. Should be just the regular places. Uh, that has the links to the paperback and the ebook. And then the audiobook will be coming up shortly. I was hoping to have that up sooner because I know that was the thing that a lot more people were expecting from me, especially being a voice actor. They wanted to hear the audiobook version, which there is, and it is about an hour and 50 minutes. It's a short book. It's not that thick. It's not that big. So there's about an hour and 50 minutes, and there's 2 other voice actors on the book as well for 2 characters that have lines. And they are, and I didn't plan this. It's Marissa Duran and a Marissa Falsone, and I hope I'm saying their names right. Marissa Duran was actually in an anime that I cannot remember. She's a pretty well established voice actor. I mean, they both are. But I actually didn't know all the stuff that she had done until after I had basically already chose her audition. I was like, okay, that's the one. And then I went through her credits and I went through her website and I was like, oh shit. So yeah, so there's gonna be it's gonna be well done, well produced. I'm very proud of it. First audiobook. And I didn't want it to just be me reading. I basically did the entire thing with just my audio doing all the roles. And you know, it was okay. I wasn't proud of it, so I wanted to make sure that it had more of a performance to it. It had more of something that felt there was more feeling there. So definitely wanted to hire other people and bring them in. So that's what we did. And hello, Crazy Ninja, howdy, and congrats on your book. That's a huge accomplishment. It is, especially for me, considering my dyslexia and how much time that took. Which some people have apparently, most of the people who've read it took them like 30 minutes to an hour to read the whole book, and it's kind of disappointing because I'm like, that's nothing at all. Like that's an evening read. Like that. I mean, I was kind of hoping a little bit more. But some people. I mean, almost everybody reads faster than me. So but a lot of people liked it. The people that have read it so far and people have told me. So that's good. I don't know when I'm going to be doing the next one, the next book. The next project that a friend of mine, the same friend who helped me write the book, wants to work on is a little too similar in many ways to this one. So I kind of don't want to do it immediately. I kind of want to change up the genre, change up you know, the style a little bit. I don't want them to be same old, same old. And yes, for all the voice actors that who are curious and who've been asking and messaging me, yes, on my other audiobooks or any other projects, I will be posting auditions that anyone can come and audition for, and they will always be paid. Um, and yeah, so that's where I am with that. That's what has taken me so long. So I got Chase saying, "What's up, Mr. Timmy?" Mr. Timmy always feels weird. That always feels weird. I don't know why. Just go with Timmy or Mr. No, don't go Mr. Banfield. That always feels weird too. I don't know. Maybe it's the Mr. part. Maybe I just don't like. I know what it is. I know what it is. I think it's because um back when I had my day job and I was like a manager and a you know operator and stuff like that. Not operator, but shift leaders and stuff like that. I always had, people would always say Mr. Banfield or Mr. Sir or stuff like that. I don't know, and it just felt weird to me. Like I don't feel like it was necessary. So I guess it just reminds me of that. But anyway, so the other things that are how's it going, Mr. I was about to say Mr. Timothy, but he didn't say that. How's it going, man? How's it going, man? It's good. It's actually going pretty good. Except for one thing, and I do want to talk about this. I have a cat now. It's not. I refuse to accept it as actually mine. But when Marissa Falsone was in my studio recording for uh, the last bit of her audiobook, her part of the audiobook. Um, she on her way out, there was a cat by the door, and this cat had kind of been like circling the area, just making noise. Didn't look like it had an owner, but it didn't look like it was. Yes, it's an orange kitty. Didn't look like it had any broken bones and like diseased fleas, anything like that. It just looked like a cat that someone had just like left behind. That's like someone had like moved and just left, and so she just basically let it into the house, and she was like, "You have a cat now," and then she just left, and I was like, "Yeah, thanks," and I couldn't just kick it out immediately. It looked like a monster, so so we have a cat now, but I am highly allergic to cats, so for the most part, as you can see, I have like my bed made because so I can have like the big bed topper over it. Um, uh, Not the bed topper, but the comforter or whatever on it, so just in case if any cat hair comes down, it doesn't actually land on the pillow or anything that I actually put my face against. And vacuuming and all this kind of stuff. Uh, it's fine as of right now because the cat is not transitioning from its seasonal coats, meaning it's not shedding its heavier coat, its heavier winter coat, and that is when most of the hair is in the air, and that is when it's going to absolutely drive me crazy. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping this thing. It is a very friendly cat. It is a little too affectionate. But it hasn't done that much damage. So it's also the first cat to not bite or scratch me. So that's a good sign. But yeah, when where and when is the comedy show? It is going to be in Lufkin, Texas. I think at the Civic Center. Is it the Civic Center or the VBS? I think it's the VBS. Not VBS. It's Vacation Bible School. The Veterans something. I don't remember what it is, but it's a charity show for a animal shelter. A lot of animal related stuff going on. It is a charity show. I did it before. No, I'm washing it. I have. They gave me a T-shirt that had all the information on it, but it's in the wash right now, and I'm not gonna go get it. It'll be posted on my Facebook and social media and stuff like that. Um, I'm not. I'm not too happy about it because it is Lufkin, Texas, and Lufkin, Texas has not been kind to me as far as my comedy. It's just as far as anything, my life in general. Um, Lufkin has always been this kind of place where everything I love goes to die, and everything I try to do goes to die. Um, it's basically a sad, angry retirement home. There's no innovation. There's no joy. There's nothing for young people. There's really nothing to do. There's no venues of entertainment. So anytime I've tried to do something like that, the only people that show up are old, crotchety people that don't want to laugh every single time, and it upsets me. Um, so I really don't like going back, and it'll probably be the last time I ever do Lufkin. If they ask me to come back, I will say no, just because it's Lufkin. If it was anywhere else, I'd probably say yes. I mean, because I've had great shows, you know, all around. But in Lufkin, I've never had one good show. It's a shitty place. And I can say that because I live there. It was a shitty place. Let's see. Um, evict your sinus is not the um it's not just me. I also do have a roommate who also has cat allergies. And so it wouldn't be fair if I wanted to keep it and he was miserable. So it's something that we both have to agree on. So and I'm not just gonna kick it out. The goal is to, if I do get rid of the cat, it would be going to someone that I know is going to take care of it. It's a very sweet, very nice cat, so I don't want it to end up. Preferably, I'd like it to find a family with kids, because it needs an insane amount of affection. So and it likes nonstop attention. That's exactly what would be perfect for it with kids. So yeah, rest assured, I'm not just going to throw it out into the cold. Um, Okay, I was just going to lurk, then you said cat. Yay, cat. What is orange one? What's with the cat? Why do people like cats and orange cats? Why? What is with the orange cat? Why specifically orange cats? Um, they do jump on your keyboard. Yes, I've had to lock everything down. Um, when you're editing through, yes. They try to break your studio door. Yes. Well, fortunately, he hasn't tried to get to there. His main focus has been anytime I'm in here or in the restroom. Little paws coming out of the door. There's that. Uh, but so far hasn't really done too much damage. We basically give him free roam of the living room and kitchen area, and this hallway. So the majority of the apartment, and nothing has been broken. Technically, nothing's been destroyed. He when he first came in. We didn't have a litter box, and so he was meowing at the door. We opened it up. He went outside, did his business, came back inside. And then we got him a litter box, and he seems to, um, you know, just do his business in a litter box. Well trained, obviously had a good owner. However, when I am exercising and I am not paying him any attention, he will, and this has happened every time, he will climb into the kitchen sink, and he will take a dump in the kitchen sink. It doesn't happen any other time, but when I am working out, I don't know. I don't know. He's just a sadist. He's just evil, and he's a cat. Um, but yeah, for the most part, he's been fine. Um, but I know that when he starts shedding his big coat, it's just going to be a friggin' nightmare. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with that. We'll see. Um, he's your met people. Oh, have you met people at comedy shows who try not to laugh at your jokes? Um, yes, yes. There's people who deliberately try not to um enjoy the show. I've had people. I've done like really good shows. I did an hour, and there was another comedian who did an hour. It was basically like a little intermission between us, kind of thing. Um, and it was at a bar that had like a big stage. They were like a well-known comedy club, and I think it was somewhere near Dallas. I think it was between Dallas and Austin, but everyone liked it. Everyone seemed to have a good time. I didn't bomb, but I didn't get the laughs that I thought some of the jokes did. But the venue owner, after I left, I shook his hand. We got paid. It was a good time. Took pictures. Uh, and then I left, and before I'm even home, before I'm even at home, my agent messages me and asks what happened. I was like, "What do you mean what happened?" And it and he was like, "The venue owner said that you sucked. Said there was a bomb. They said everybody hated you and they booed you off stage." And I was like, "That didn't happen at all." What he didn't know is I was recording the whole thing. I usually like mic myself up so I can listen back to my set and I can make changes. So I sent my agent the full thing, and he listened to it and he was like, "Oh, that guy's an idiot." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." He's like, "But he's never gonna have you back. He banned you. Like you basically, you're on a list that he's not gonna have you back." And I was like, "Well, fine. I don't want to come back." But yes, so I've had some people who've deliberately just tried to, ruin the show, talk shit, just hated me for no reason. Tons of stuff like that. I don't care. I don't care anymore. So yeah. Sinus eviction. Okay. Um, Firstly, just wanted to say thank you so much for all your amazing advice you've shared. Glad to see you. Well, hello. Sorry I didn't get to this sooner. Howdy. Thank you. I'm glad that you have enjoyed the content. I'm not going to stop releasing content like this. Um, Even though early on I was told to not do stuff like this, I was actually told to not release industry secrets, to not release voiceover secrets, and to not basically do free coaching online. Um, and I didn't listen. I posted stuff anyway. Mostly, I was just cataloging my journey and then just kind of sharing stuff that I've learned. However, I have learned that Bob Bergen is now doing the same thing. He was kind of one of those people that doesn't really like the independent industry, the independent market. He hates Fiverr, he hates voices.com, all that kind of stuff. And he was kind of like didn't like the indie people sharing industry secrets and stuff like that. Well, now he's doing basically the same thing. So I'm glad that you people have been enjoying it and have found some use out of it. Honestly, orange cats are my least favorite. Why? Why orange? Why specifically orange? But they're my favorite color. But they're all my favorite. Wait, what? I don't understand. You saying all cats are your favorite color? I don't. But orange cats are your least favorite of your favorites? I guess that's what you're saying. I've got a big orange cat. Like, is it like fat or just like a large, like very long cat? Dude, what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with the whole like taking a dump in my sink. I have no idea. I have no clue. He doesn't do it any other time. He'll have like full rain the entire time we're sleeping. Nothing like that. I'm working. I'm just on the treadmill. I got earbuds in. I'm not paying attention to him. I'm just going, and he just like goes into the sink and then just like takes a dump. I don't know. Some kind of trauma, I guess. I don't know. He's just showing you his support. No, he's not. Because that's just how cats are. Yeah, sure it is. Yeah, sure it is. It's like, yeah, when a cat's like flexing its claws right on your eyeballs, that's just how they show love. I really think that like cat owners that are like cat people have been like brainwashed at some point in time. An hour is such a long time. It is. It is. And it's not. I don't normally. I normally just do that for the money. I don't normally showcase or tell people that I do an hour. But if it's like I really need I was paid pretty good. I was paid pretty good, so I was like, yeah, I can do an hour. Technically, I did an hour. I did a little bit of crowd work at the beginning, kind of warm up. But yeah, it is a long time, especially when there's two comics. Because a 2-hour show, that's kind of long. It's better to have like multiple smaller comic sets than to have like huge shows, especially for people that nobody really knows. I mean, that would be one thing for like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, anyone else, Bill Burr. Like, of course, you're going to be there for like, you be there for 4 hours for those guys because they're amazing, but you don't know who I am. So is there law? So it's their laws. Yeah, yeah. Entertainment industry has Shady characters, bro. Yeah, it does. It has all kinds of shady people, and I've met a whole bunch of them, and I really, really don't like them. But unless they've committed a crime or they've hurt a friend of mine, I don't really share their names. Um, I've met some people that I feel like are douchebags, but a douchebag who's someone who's kind of like standoffish or kind of rude or kind of full of themselves doesn't make them bad, and it's definitely not worth me dropping their name in any negative way. If they just have like a shady attitude or something like that, it's more like genuine crimes. Then you'll be on my list. Then I'll definitely say something. Um, your mic is fantastic. Well, thank you. This is actually so normally I use they're up there right now. My two Audio Technica 87.5Rs. Right now I am using one of these guys. The yeah, the Samson CO2, which are pencil condenser microphones. I love these things. I actually really like these. I think I got these two for cheap from a friend of mine who was using them for like overhead boom mics, but he's not an audio guy and he didn't know how to use them properly. And so I was like, yeah, I'll take these off your hands. Yeah, these are really good mics. They have a little bit of high on the noise floor. There's a little bit of extra hiss to it, but it's not too bad. You can clean it up pretty well. And when it comes to noise rejection, they're really good. I've done multiple shootouts with these, so there's tons of videos you can search on my channel for this stuff. They come with really neat kind of shock mounts, little rubber gasket kind of holders things, and this little plastic thing. It gives a little bit of resistance to handling noise, not a lot. Just don't be going crazy with it. And then couple that with a nice small dead cat. And it's actually a really good voiceover or podcast mic or let's play mic. It's actually really, really good. It's one of those mics that I recommend for pretty much everything, especially people that don't have like a perfectly treated space. These mics are also the kind of mics that I travel with. Um, uh, kind of, on the road voiceover mics. I don't remember if it was these ones or a different one that actually matched pretty well with my not match pretty well, but I was able to mix audio from like one of these pencil condensers in with audio from my Sennheiser. There was like a client that I had recorded stuff and then they changed up the script and they wanted me to re-record some lines. And so it was while I was on the road. I think it was while I was doing a show. And so they had me re-record it. And so I put it together a little booth and recorded with one of these. And I don't remember if these were the ones, but it actually matched up pretty well. I think it was Cartoon Hooligans. So, and I don't remember which episode, but no one has noticed. So I did a good job, whatever it was. It was a long time ago, so I also don't remember. Why do big names hate the indie people? Okay, so that's actually a really good question. Big name people have not been up to date with the independent side. Oh, what's this? Why has your message been redacted? Let me see. I can't see it. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not letting me change it. Well, I guess you shouldn't have used all those curses and epithets. Industry people, big name industry people, especially people like Bob Bergen, which again, I'm not throwing shade at Bob Bergen. I'm just using him as an example because he's the name that comes to mind. Have been doing this for a really, really long time. They started doing voiceover when you had to record your demo on like a cassette tape and then send that into an agent. And the only place you could record was in their studio. It was a professional studio and everything was analog. There was no digital. And to connect with a client was all phone line and patch and all that kind of stuff. That was the only way you got work, you did work. That was the only way to do anything. And there was no posting stuff online. There was no open auditions. There was no open auditions. It all came through managers and agents through studios and stuff like that. Well, now everything has very much changed. Very, very much changed. And that the going into studio and getting stuff through agents and through managers is now less than 10%. And that's not to say that the amount has necessarily gone down by too much, like the number of roles has gone down too much. It's just that there are now so many opportunities and so many jobs and so many other projects outside of Hollywood, outside of major studios, that the majority of the work has nothing to do with agents, has nothing to do with managers, has nothing to go with going into studio. The biggest paid stuff is still that stuff, that's for sure. But the majority of the work is online. And if you look at people who do stuff only agent based stuff, their resume, if they've been doing voiceover for the same number of years as like an independent, someone who's not represented, um, their resume is actually much shorter and with fewer credits than someone who's independent. And they could actually be making the exact same amount of money. Now, that's not to say that the person who's the indie voice actor is getting, you know, paid so much less that they're basically getting robbed. It's because you have to consider the cost of your studio, the cost of what it actually takes for you to actually produce all this. Now, they have major studios, they have a team, they have agents and managers that need to take a cut. They have to actually, a lot of them have to lobby for positions and actually have to lobby to get roles nowadays. Um, because they don't really have to audition, and these studios know who they are, so now they have to compete with other people that they know to get these roles, and so their cost to get work is a lot higher. It's a lot higher. um, but for the indie voice actor, a lot of the stuff is free software. To build a studio is less than $1,000. And that's even for like a really nice studio. You could actually build one for, I mean, I've done it multiple times for like 300. And then, getting a good quality mic does not break the bank. Good quality interface, all the kind of stuff. Education, if you look at my YouTube channel, is free. And then there's so many platforms like castingcall.club where you can get paid work, build a resume, build experience, all this kind of stuff. And all that has changed basically in the last less than 30 years, basically 20 years. And a lot of these major industry voice actors have no idea because they're not a part of this. They think of it basically being still the same. Some of them are aware of Fiverr and thought that think of Fiverr as the way it was when it first showed up. Fiverr is no longer the way it was when it first showed up. It's changed very quickly, very rapidly, and it's now extremely professional. And they don't get that. Castingcall.club was almost like a Craigslist for very low to no budget um, voiceover. Now it's again incredibly professional. I've seen really high profile gigs on there. Castingcall.club is doing a very good job. Those guys are awesome. um, you know, there's tons of people that have just foregone um, going through main channels and have just used Twitter nowadays. So there's a lot of stuff like that that is changing, that a lot of these bigger industry voice actors don't want to change, because that means that they have to restructure a lot of stuff. And one of the big things that has to be restructured is the Screen Actors Guild. The Screen Actors Guild does not take into consideration independent voice actors and the independent market. It has no place for that. They are trying to take over a lot of that kind of stuff. They're trying to kind of essentially ruin it, which really don't think the Screen Actors Guild should kind of exist anymore unless it's like really large projects. But like for example, uh, the Screen Actors Guild basically, so Netflix said that they were not going to be doing any more voiceover projects unless it's a Screen Actors Guild project. Um, they were releasing a lot and had a lot more independent or smaller budget animation projects that were in the pipeline, and they basically just throw out over 90% of them that were because they were just not part of the Screen Actors Guild. And now they they don't post auditions anymore. It all goes through agencies, it all goes through studios, and all goes through stuff like that. And that was because of SAG. That was because of the Screen Actors Guild. They basically did that. And they're trying to kind of take over the anime industry, which is actually going to be really impossible just because of the way it's structured financially and how it's very, very hard for the dubbing studios to actually make a profit, for anyone to actually make a profit off the anime doing a dubbing. So if they actually try to make it where you have to abide by all the Screen Actors Guild rules, anime is going to fail. It's just going to be over. It's going to be done. So I'm really kind of hoping they don't. And that's it. I hope that answered the question. That was like a really important one, so I wanted to make sure that I answered that one. How far back? How far back was oh Jesus. Well, how the tables have turned. Yes, 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 indeed. I used to have bearded okay. Used to have a bearded dragon. Gotcha. Okay. I read bread. I read the word breaded, and I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. It's just my dyslexia. I loved her. She showed her loved it. Yes, yes. I hear bearded dragons are adorable. Yeah. All the time. Let's see. That's how cats show love. They bring my bacon asshole. Yep. I would absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I would agree. Dead cat. I may have misread. Uh, I think they're talking about this. This is the dead cat. Which now having to pick cat hair off of clothes and stuff like that, I can confirm that this is very, very similar. The hair that comes off of this is almost exactly identical. No wonder it's called a dead cat, which I will continue to call it that. I didn't say how the cat died. It's just a dead cat. Small dead cat as your cat stares a hole into your head. No, you'll just go take a crap in the sink again. The audacity, how dare you? The audacity, how dare you? Um, have you ever thought about reviewing VO courses aimed at beginners? I've done one of them. I did one of them, and that was the I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the only voiceover course that's on Fiverr. I don't remember the guy's name. I have a video on it. You can go look it up. Um, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It was bare bone nothing, and it actually wasn't well produced. At times, the majority of it was fine. Also, he didn't come off as friendly. He came off as kind of creepy and kind of disingenuine. And so I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that. If there's other courses that you guys would like me to review out there, I'll take a look. There are some other voice actors, kind of how-tos or tutorial videos, or kind of like introduction to voiceover, answering Q&As and the stuff like that I will be reviewing in a little bit. But some of them I think I've already filmed. But other than that, not necessarily. Also, I'd have to buy the courses. So it depends. It depends on if it's it depends. Okay. They certainly are not up to date with the times. Yes, that is the major thing. I feel like if and the reason I bring up Bob Bergen, not because I have any beef with Bob Bergen, I actually like him a lot. When there was people like bullying me early on when I was asking like voiceover questions online, he sent me his email. We had a good back and forth. He was a very friendly guy. Seems like someone I'd like to meet. Seems like cool dude. I've heard some stuff about he's got kind of a cutthroat kind of mentality when it comes to getting work, which is totally fine. Totally fine. I don't have any problem with that. You know. But overall, no problem with him. I feel like yes, I feel like a lot of it does need to be, updated as they there's more voice actors up there that basically need to come down here to understand what's going on, and there does need to be a bridge. There needs to be a bridge between the two. Um, However, there are voice actors who've started down here who are quickly making it up to more of those ranks, who do have more of an understanding because they did start on the completely digital, completely free platforms, and they are making their way up. And so maybe in the future, a lot of the leading industry professionals will be ones who've been here. And hopefully by that time, the two will kind of blend a little bit more and there'll be more of an understanding. That's my hope. That's my goal, at least. Um, whenever I mimic, what? Whenever I mimic and I take a break, my voice got, what? Please elaborate. I don't understand this. Whenever I mimic and I take a break, my voice got changed. I'm gonna need some elaboration on that. Um, I'm the topic for free education. You're the topic for free edu guys, you can't be throwing out weird, confusing things to a dyslexic man. This is cruel. Um, I'm the topic of free education. You're awesome for educating others on on your profession. Okay. Um, so I use, but still appreciate. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm always going to be doing this. I'm never going to stop. I have no reason to stop. I have no reason to stop vlogging. I have no reason to stop doing the YouTube channel. I don't see any reason. Hi, can I ask a question here? That was a question. You should have asked me if you could ask that one. Circle back around. Ask me if you can ask that one first, and then ask me again. Um, um, while using heavy voice, my throat starts giving pain. Okay. Okay, I think I kind of understand what you're saying. Um, yes. So if you're doing like any kind of raspy voice, any high pitched voice, or anything that strains the vocal cords, they'll start to feel warm. They'll feel tight, and then your voice is going to sound different after it relaxes for a little bit. It's going to start to kind of like crackle. Um, my goal and objective is number one, get all of your regular voice or the higher but not straining higher pitch voices done earlier in the day, and then as the day goes on, do the deeper voices and the harder voices at the very end, because you do not want to strain your voice early. Even if those are more fun, you gotta wait till the very end. Anything that strains your voice, wait till the very end, and then afterwards, make sure you go and take a hot shower, kind of relax the throat, go to sleep, wake up in the morning. Um, I say shower at night and then shower in the morning. To part of it is for the vocal cords. Some people think 2 showers a day is too much. I think you people smell weird. Um, but then make sure also you're drinking plenty of water, and then just don't push your voice far past the point that it hurts. If it if it does start to actually like really genuinely hurt or be uncomfortable, pause. Pause. Um, and if you have time to come back to it on a different day, come back to it on a different day. I know a lot of people would say that you need to do all of that voice in one day so it sounds consistent. But if you do strain it and press it further than it actually should go, it's already going to sound different by the time you get to the end, because it's going to sound hoarse, it's going to sound restrained, it's going to sound tight. So go ahead and just wait and do your best to try to match it later. So don't worry about that. Okay. I don't know if anyone has asked this question, but how does your disability sorry, this written? No, it's not. Unless we're not talking about dyslexia. How did your disability of being a really ugly person? How does that hold you back? Um, but I'm trying to be a trying to be a voice actor as well. But I have some disabilities myself. Dyslexia like this. Okay. I don't know. I think I've done a video on this. I believe so. But one of the things that I do is I'm sent a script. Um, I I prefer I prefer it to be in Word. That way I can take it in and I can kind of break up sections. Anywhere there would be a natural pause or a natural break, I move that down to its own line. And I try not to break sentences in half, because I it takes me a while to kind of like follow the line and read with it. If I have to double back around and do that, it throws my brain off. So anytime there's like a comma, an and, a period, what have you, that goes to its own new line. That way, any place where I'm naturally pausing. And this also gives my brain enough time to restart and kind of continue on. Also, if I need to, I will copy and paste the whole thing into like um, to an email that I'm not sending to anybody. Um, so I can select the whole thing and have it read it back to me through Google because I have a text to speech thing, so it kind of helps me read it, and it reads it flatly, so it's not giving me any kind of emotional direction that I'm implanting in my head. It's just giving me just the context. Um, and I do that a couple times, and I'll read along with it till I'm a little bit more familiar, and I know what it is that I'm reading, and I know that I'm saying the right words the right way, and then I break it up and I do that. That's how I do it. It takes me a little bit longer than most people, but that's how I've dealt with that. Do I work for Cartoon Hooligans? I work with Cartoon Hooligans. I do not work for Cartoon Hooligans. What I mean by that is I'm not on payroll. I don't do any of the writing. I have offered to do some writing. I have sent them scripts, and I've sent them ideas. Some of the ideas they've actually used, but the majority of the time they do their own thing. Bram, I believe, is the lead guy's name, who kind of runs the studio. He writes all the jokes. He has a writers meeting kind of thing. And there, it's his sense of humor, it's his punchlines, all this kind of stuff. He is getting better at it. He's getting better. And there's a lot of stuff that, even if it's kind of like subpar, kind of where I don't think the joke lands, I'll still try to make it funny. But he comes to me for the majority of like the male voiceover. Um, now there is another male voice actor who does a lot of voices as well. But for a long time, it was like me doing like everyone. But I do not work for them. So if you're hoping to audition or anything like that, or you're wanting to talk to them, I cannot get you an in. I cannot get you a meeting or anything like that. I have no power over that. It's just one of my clients, one of my favorite clients. Hi there. I'm a big fan from Africa, Sudan. Oh, okay, Africa, Sudan. Um, well, hello from Africa, Sudan. And I want to ask you, what is your advice for someone who wants to begin a career in voiceover? Can do impressions too. Well, I will say one thing: impressions is not important. It's not. It's not a make or break. It's not a deal breaker. It's not. Um, a lot of voice actors can do impressions, and that is only just because to do voices is having a lot of control over the muscles in your throat, which is that's what all this is. It's all muscles, and having a lot more control gives you the ability to do certain voices, do certain sounds, and a memory of accents and stuff like that. A lot of voice actors are really good at doing impressions. Some start out doing impressions and then become voice actors. Some start out as voice actors and eventually get good at impressions. They're just something that goes hand in hand, but it's not something that is necessary. For example, um, don't make a demo that has your impressions unless someone asks for them. Unless there's a specialty or something like that. Unless your agent, knows that you do really good impressions and they want you to make a demo, there's no reason to make one. So don't lead too much on that. Your goal, like everyone else's, is going to be have a quiet, well-treated space that you can record in, and a decent microphone and internet connection. Whether that is, you know, uh, you know, uh, an XLR mic like this that goes into an interface, or it's a USB mic, doesn't matter. It just needs to be of relatively good quality. And fortunately, that bar is being raised higher and higher every single month, every single year. So meaning the price is going down, the quality is going up, because a lot of studios, or not studios, a lot of companies that make microphones are listening and paying attention, and they're trying to accommodate. And then you're going to want a well-treated space, and it doesn't have to have like this kind of black foam, this more professional, expensive foam. It can actually have, it's kind of like a yellow foam. It's known as bed topper. It's actually above me, but you can't see it because the way the camera is. But yeah, I was seeing if I had any around here, and I do not. I moved it all out. There's some that's above me. Half of my ceiling actually has this stuff, and you can get it at Walmart. It's called bed topper. It's foam that has like waves and stuff in it. You can cut it into sections, you can cut it into squares, and you can basically do the same thing. Just make sure you're not getting a lot of noise from outside. There's not a lot of reverb. Put up that foam, get a decent microphone, good internet connection, because again, that's where most of the work is going to be. Find places like castingcall.club, Twitter, any place that's free. And there's tons of free places. You don't gotta buy a membership. You don't gotta pay to get on a platform. All that. That's what you gotta do. And then you can actually start auditioning as long as your audio quality is good before you even have a demo. And what I recommend is people that go on things like Casting Call the Club, take your best auditions, take sections of them, like auditions that you didn't get, or even ones that you did. After you know that you didn't get it, it went to someone else, but you really like that audition, you can start cutting those together to make your first demo. That's probably the easiest and best way to find copy, and if do performances that would be good to showcase. And then as you go on, you'll update them. So there you go. Let's see what else. Oh no. Oh, on the topic. Sorry. Okay, you got you. Autocorrect. Totally fine. Congrats on the book. Thank you. Besides the audiobook for that, have you ever done an audiobook before? And if so, will you start doing more? There are two audiobooks that I have, maybe three, that I have done. They're all garbage, and I will not share them with people. They're all terrible. I think one of them is easier to find than others, but um, yeah, they're totally garbage. I will probably be doing. I mean, if I do any more books, which I will be, if I write any more of my stuff, obviously I'll be doing the audiobook, at least part of it. Other people's audiobooks, I don't know yet. There was someone. There have been some people who've reached out to me since I posted the sample of my audiobook, wanting to know if I wanted to join an agency for audiobooks or stuff like that. And I don't know yet. I don't know. It's still an area that I'm not incredibly familiar with, and I want to make sure that I can deliver before saying yes to anything like that. But there will definitely be, whether it's books that I write or other people's books, there'll definitely be more audiobooks and stuff like that. Let's see. Question for you. Do you have any tax secrets for us? Tax secrets. I mean, there aren't really any tax secrets out there. Everything, anytime someone has taken advantage of the tax department or not paid that much in taxes, a lot of the times it's because they knew about certain, not necessarily loopholes, but certain things that are in the tax law. Um, One of the big things is you can't just be hoarding money. Can't just be hoarding money. You have to spend it, basically. So the easiest thing to do is to, put it in stocks. um, is the easiest thing, or to buy something that you can sell later on that is going to have essentially the exact same value, like gold and stuff like that. My roommate, my brother, he, you know, knows a lot about stocks. He, invests stuff in the stocks, and he doesn't pay as much. And I often spend a lot of money on my business. So our money, though we're still benefiting from it, is not being just kept. It's not just lying around. It's being spent or it's being invested. Um, Other than that, not really. I'm not too fluent with tax law. It's the best I can do for you. Um, they just want you to spend it essentially on some way or another. Okay, let's see. I mean, when I try to do a voiceover by changing my voice, but after sometimes my voice doesn't match like the way it started with. Oh, you're talking about consistency. Yeah. Uh, then I would definitely suggest. Well, that's just going to come with time. So one of the major factors towards consistency is when you haven't worked these muscles enough that they rest in comfortable positions, um, then they start to wane. It's like if you're straining your arm, the arm's gonna like shake. Like if you're holding up a weight for a really long time, that arm's gonna like shake and tense and all this kind of stuff. But when you're relaxed, it's gonna stay in position. It's gonna stay there comfortably. That's the same thing with your voice. So that's going to come with practice. As you keep doing certain voices, they'll become more and more natural, and your vocal cords will eventually, like when you want to do a certain voice, they'll basically rest in a certain position. It's the same as muscle memory. Muscle memory for throwing a ball or anything else. Eventually, they'll rest in that position. When do I breathe if I keep talking? What kind of question is that? When do I breathe if I keep talking? Is that serious? You breathe when you need to breathe. Just whenever you need to breathe, breathe. When you normally need to breathe, whenever the time that you just normally need to naturally bring in air, just do that. Don't think about it. Don't try to plan it. Um, just don't try to do an entire line without breathing unless it's like a really short sentence or it's natural and comfortable. Just breathe whenever you need to breathe. It's totally fine. Because what'll happen if you're not breathing naturally when you naturally would breathe, you're going to be taking in a lot louder, breaths of air. It's going to because you're having to like hold it, and those are going to be a lot harder to edit out. But if it's like really natural, like simple breaths, just those simple, like real quick, like that, no one's going to hear them. I've been doing that this entire time, and it's not been distracting. So just breathe when you need to breathe. Have you ever done any Shakespeare work in the past? Not on stage, but I have wanted to. I was fascinated with Shakespeare. I memorized multiple Shakespeare speeches. Um, I think some of the first videos I posted on here were doing monologues, Shakespeare monologues. Things like "To Bait Fish Withal," um, "Friends, Romans, Countrymen," "To Be or Not to Be," "Alas, Poor Yorick." There's another one. "Now is the Winter of Our Discontent." Oh, what's another one? I'm trying to do St. Crispin's Day. That one's kind of a long one, and that one has like really weird beats in it. The goal is to like memorize the beats, memorize it in sections. So it tells this kind of story, this emotion in here. There's a break, and then you memorize this part, and then you memorize this part, and it helps you memorize the whole thing. So yeah, I've done tons of Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. I don't know if I could ever read Shakespeare from beginning to end as like an audiobook because it is kind of chunky and there are kind of made up words that really throw off someone who's dyslexic like me. But I like it. It feels great. Sir, your videos helped me a lot. My pleasure. Hey Tim, when is it worth it? Okay, when is it worth it to join a pay to play? So you can join the sites for free. Most of them, like casting call, not casting call. Well, yeah, casting call club does actually have like paid membership kind of things. They give you perks, but you can still audition no problem. I don't remember what the perks are, but there's just like there's some neat little extra things that they offer, which it's not needed, but you can. I don't really consider that a pay to play. A pay to play would be more like voices.com, voice 123, Bidalgo. Um, uh, when you're, it's really really hard to say. I would say so. Those kinds of websites really only focus on commercial narration, e-learning, audiobooks, radio spots. So if you're acing those kinds of auditions, you're just acing them. You have a really good track record. You're very comfortable with that. It's easier for you to get that kind of work done and do those kind of auditions, a bunch of them in a day. And you're already making a lot of money doing freelance elsewhere or agent stuff that you could spend a couple $100 and it wouldn't hurt you. Because I think now it's like yearly. So I think it's like $400 a year or something like that. Something crazy. $400 a year. So you're like, I got $300, $400 just lying around. It's not going to hurt me. I don't need it to pay bills. I don't need anything like that. And this is the kind of platform with the kind of work that I already do that I know I'm going to be able to make back. When you have that kind of confidence and you have that kind of extra capital just lying around, then it might be worth that kind of investment. But if you go through the entire year or the majority of the year and you do not make that money back, because you need to at least make twice that back. I would say 4 times to make it worth it, but you need to at least make twice that back. So if you spend $400 for the yearly membership, you need to make $800 back. Which you should be able to do that in one job for that kind of commercial narration. But if you can do that and you're confident about it and you have that kind of money, it's not going to hurt you. I think it'd be fine. The people that I recommend stay away from the pay to plays are the people that are just getting into voiceover. Those kind of people, like, you don't have a solid demo, you don't have any representation, you're still learning audio gear and still trading your space, all this kind of stuff. Stay away from the pay to plays. They will not make you a better voice actor. None of these sites will make you a better voice actor. None of these sites will, actually help you if you don't already have the skills and the ability and the confidence and the resources and the tools to already get that done. And you need to actually already have that money set aside. Do not go to the pay to plays until you're already making enough money that you have doing voiceover that you have extra capital. So unless you're making enough money doing voiceover, doing the thing that you want to do, to actually have the extra money, as well as everything else, you paid everything else, extra money to join a pay to plays, stay away from them unless you have that. And if you're at the point where you do, it's up to you. I don't think it makes or breaks. Okay. Wow. No, sorry. I meant that you worked with Cartoon Hooligans. Oh, okay. That's fine. No. Don't worry about it. I got your channel link through their website. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I work a lot with them. I worked with them very early on. I kind of, I think the first video we did was like the Goku and Vegeta versus DC or Marvel or something like that. I think it was the first project I worked with them. And then since then, they kept throwing me, hey, can you do this voice? Can you do this voice? Can you do this voice? And for the most part, I said yes. And it's either I do a really good job at that character, or I make them laugh. And if I make them laugh, they still want to keep it. So that's kind of my short history. I'm actually building a sound booth now. I'm using Safe and Sound insulation. Oh, okay, as sound absorbent material. Well, good for you. I'm not too familiar with the stuff. However, I have heard other voice actors use it, and I trust them. So I imagine it's going to be pretty good. All you have to do is make sure that you have layers. Just make sure you got layers, and that includes above and below. Just really isolate yourself. That's really the key. I bought 10 moving blankets. Not all not all are being used, but just in case. Oh yeah, yeah. I also have like extra moving blankets and stuff like that. I think that little blue bag up there has right there. The little blue bag has a smaller one that I carry with me anytime I go on the road. And I know I'm going to be staying somewhere. That one's got like a smaller moving blanket. It also has like a collapsible tripod. It's a thing that I hook one of these onto, and then I bring a small interface that can go into either my iPad or my laptop, and then my portable or my less expensive headphones. Bring all that with me, and so that's kind of like always ready to go for the most part. But yeah, always have extra. It's always good. Let's see. Um, oh, I need a more. Wait, what? But just in case I need a more dry sound. Oh, okay. Are you going to create that Discord service you were talking about last year? I've started looking into it. I think I've already created the platform. I haven't put anything on it yet. But I'm not quite sure. I only want to launch it when I have something for it. And I want to make sure that it's a very different platform than everywhere else. One of the reasons that I dislike people that also have Discord or pitch their Discord or only communicate through Discord is that it doesn't serve a unique purpose. It doesn't serve a niche. And so I want it to actually be a unique platform for anything involving me. It's not just going to be a place that I post my vlogs. Or it's not going to be a place that I, um, you know, post updates or anything like that. I want to have a very unique purpose, and so I want to make sure that I do that right before I launch it. But supposedly, yes, there will be something like that. How do you get LA work for animation? Um, how do I get it, or how does anyone? Um, there are a bunch of ways, and it really just depends on what you mean. If you mean like the bigger studios, I mean, you got to have years of experience, and you basically got to move to LA. If you're talking about like working with, working with like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney, anything like that, you basically got to be there, and you basically have to have an agent, a manager, killer demos, and I would say like 5 years of acting experience for them to even take you seriously and for you to even get the audition. Uh, I've worked with people in LA. I've worked with studios in LA. I haven't no real major projects, no real major studios, which I'm fine with. I don't need to do the bigger stuff. I would like it, sure, but it's not necessary. Um, you have a better chance of working with smaller studios that are more independent, even if there are in LA, than working with like bigger studios. Um, I say don't set a goal. Don't set that as one of your goals. Don't set that as one of your objectives. Your objective is just to be good at voiceover. Your goal is to just be good at voiceover and make enough money that you're not hurting. If you keep with that kind of mindset, and you basically, regardless of how large the project is, you're going to do your best, and you're going to keep improving. Sorry, you will eventually get noticed, and you will eventually get opportunities. A lot of that kind of stuff just kind of like happens to you rather than there are ways of kind of making connections, but a lot of those doors are being closed nowadays because there are so many people getting into voiceover and so many people trying to kind of skip ahead of the line that a lot of those kind of avenues are basically gone. So it's a lot harder than it was. I would say just enjoy doing the smaller projects with the smaller studios that are probably going to be doing much more fun projects, giving you much more fun scripts than the stuff in Hollywood, which is basically just um, you know templates. Like they're the same kind of shows over and over and over again, same kind of characters, same kind of shows, same kind of writing. The only creativity is in the indie market now. Yeah, that's what I suggest. Hi, Mr. Tim. Hello there. I know it's been a while. I typed that a long time ago, and I finally got to it. Um, any exercises for your voice consistency? I mean, yeah, just keep doing it. I mean, the only real exercise. I mean, there are tons of people that have videos and workshops out there on like, and they'll do like these la 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 blah blah, put marbles in your mouth and sing the alphabet and they all that kind of stuff. That's a 100% waste of your time. It's pointless. Just keep doing those voices. Um, and just keep at it. Just keep doing what you're doing over and over and over again. The more voices you do, the more you use your voice, the more it's going to stretch, the more it's going to relax. Um, you know, as far as like, I mean, it's like any kind of workout. Um, it's going to burn and it's going to hurt, but that might mean that it's getting stretched out, that it's actually getting used to that you're, moving in the right direction. Um, I would just say keep pushing yourself. Just, find as many audition for everything. Even if you don't have a very good shot of doing it, try your best and just keep doing that. Eventually, your voice and your ability to do voices will get better. It's just naturally going to happen. There's no way of expediting that. Message deleted. Another one. If people have not played a wind instrument, starting now, curious as to where this is going to go. Okay. If people have not played a wind instrument, starting now, you don't even need the instrument, just grab the trumpet mouthpiece and practice. Well, I don't know much about wind instruments and I don't know anything about trumpets. I don't even have the wherewithal to call that out. I have no idea. I don't know if that's good advice or bad advice. I have no idea. I got nothing. Moving on. Um, Recently I got a voice role in a Minecraft mod as a soldier. Cool. Good for you. Good, good, good. Do you use Adobe Audition? I used to. If yes, then please help me. Um, why my audio starts panning if I apply panning? What would be panning? Hmm. Do you mean panning? If not, Audition you use it, then no problem. I have used Adobe Audition. It's not my favorite program, just because it's Adobe and you basically have to buy a big bundle to make it worth your time, and it was not worth my time. I hardly used any of those programs. Adobe Audition, I understood well enough. I didn't use it long enough to actually know exactly what it is you're talking about. Um, but the problems that I really had were with ones with After Effects and the other programs. I don't know what you mean by panning. I would definitely say download Audacity for free and try that. See what you get there. I'm pretty sure there's no panning effect. Um, I can't imagine what that would be and what that sounds like. So I can't really help. Sorry about that. Yeah, I got nothing. Also, I wanted to ask you your opinion on the Blue Yeti and the Snowball. And apart from those, what USB under 50 to $80 would you recommend? Um, I've first of all, I would not recommend the Blue Yeti or the Blue Snowball. Now, let me explain why. I think the Blue Yeti is a great sounding microphone. It is a great mic, but it is unnecessary. It is incredibly bulky. It has features you do not need, like omnidirectional and figure eight. You do not need that. And it is just too heavy. It's just too heavy, too many capsules, costs too much, unnecessary. I think the Blue Yeti Mini, I think that's what it is a way better microphone. I think that one's like 120, something like that. It's a way better mic. I think it basically is the exact same capsule, but it doesn't have any features. It's just one capsule. Sounds better, looks better. As far as like, it's still kind of hard to mount it because they don't give it any kind of universal mounting systems because Blue is freaking morons. Blue Snowball. I've used a Blue Snowball again. So the Blue series of microphones kind of focus too much on their theme and kind of their looks. So like, oh, we have a Blue Snowball. What's it going to look like? Oh, it's just going to be round, which means that you know almost no accessories worked with it. And then they didn't put live monitoring on it. So it was, for voiceover, it was essentially useless. Blue Yeti was fine. It was, good quality, but it had features that voice actors don't need. Yes, it had live monitoring, but it also needed like a saucer-sized shock mount to put anywhere, and it was not, it was not the kind of thing you could easily take with you on the road. It was not conducive for everybody's setup, so kind of a waste. They do have other microphones that I think are better, but nothing within that price range. Um, I'm gonna say less than 100. Less than 100. Trying to think if I have one right now. I think the Samson CO1U and the Samson CO1U Pro are actually pretty good. Let's see. For the love of God, why do you do this? What is this? Okay. Yeah, Samson CO1U Pro, which has live monitoring as USB, is about 100. If you're just getting the microphone, it's like 70. That one I've used. I used that one for a while when my interface went out and I couldn't use my shotgun mic, and I just had that one, and they seemed fine. The client seemed happy. Uh, yeah, Blue Yeti Nano. That's what it was. Blue Yeti X and Blue Yeti Nano. Okay, so the Blue Yeti Nano is 80. Let's see if that one has. Does that one have live monitoring? Cannot tell. I have no idea. But I do know that that one sounds pretty good. Outside of that, I mean, I probably could think of or could find some stuff, but I've pretty much already reviewed the microphones that I'm the most confident in. Um, I would definitely say if all you have is $80, you don't have enough to get into voiceover. It's definitely too little. And the reason I say that is because for every $100 you spend on microphone or interface, your microphone and interface, you have to spend like 200 to 300 on your treatment. It's not a perfect one-to-one rule, but it's pretty fair. Meaning a shitty microphone will sound better in a better treated space. So you need to spend more on that. So if you have $80, you don't have anything left over for the microphone. Um, so that's what I would definitely put forward and suggest. Yeah, there we go. But if you already have the treated space, I would say definitely wait. If you already have a treated space, I'd say definitely wait for between 100 and 200 is the sweet spot for good quality starter mics. Even USB from 100 to 200 is when you can find some really good, XLR or USB mics that will actually get you some work. Okay. So I have a lot of trouble finding an hourly job, whatever. I'm considering going at voice acting full time, and am wondering how long it might take to make. Um, there's no set rule, and you should not go into voiceover expecting you're going to make money. Um, if you were going to go into voiceover to make money, you should have had the ball rolling a good bit, because the first year is basically going to be all burner projects. It's all going to be learning experience. It's all going to be a lot of failures. It's all going to be a lot of no. It's all going to be a lot of not getting any auditions. That's definitely going to be the first year. So, um, it's going to take a while. It's not going to be months. It's going to be, I mean, the only way you could expedite that is if you had the money to get coaching for someone, so that a professional could help you, craft your studio, help you craft your audio, craft your sound and your demo, and help you get into the right, um, in front of the right people, and help you interpret scripts. If you're starting from zero, it's going to take years, especially if you're doing it on your own. So it's a very long time. Definitely say look for something else. Voiceover does not pay all that much, even when you've been doing it for a while. So, um, definitely look for other avenues. And even if you do go into voiceover and you do start making money, you have to have other avenues. No voice actor lives off just voiceover. I mean, I do acting, comedy. I have a YouTube channel. I do writing now. So, I have other avenues. I don't just do one thing, because the market will fluctuate like every other market. So you can't always guarantee that you're going to have income. You have to be able to add to that. You need multiple avenues. So don't just look into voiceover, look into everything else. Look into everything else you're interested in. I also do art. I also, every now and then people pay me to do art. So there you go. It's a hard truth on that one. Thoughts on AI and voiceover? Um, I'm not scared of it, because it still sounds like crap. And um, so there's been some people who've approached me wanting my kind of thumbs up or my kind of support for their AI voiceover. And I reviewed their product, and I basically laughed at them, and they haven't contacted me again. Um, so when it comes to, if you're just talking about like regular audiobook for educational stuff, or you're just talking about, if it's basically a read that's supposed to be monotone or flat, just sharing the news or just reading facts, then yes, it may come to a point where that kind of takes over a little bit. Um, but the problem is that the AI will always read it exactly the same way, and so because of that, they're never really going to take over like my job, which is doing character work in video games, because they can't deliver emotion and they can't give you a variety of performances. They'll just deliver the line exactly the same way over and over and over again. And they don't have AI, at least not yet, and not until it becomes actual intelligence, is going to actually be able to put emotion behind anything. So I'm not really scared of it. Maybe in 30, 40 years, maybe it might start being a problem. But as of right now, we're very, very far from it. Like it's not even close. It's not even close. It's not something that we worried about. Love you, sir. Why, thank you. I love you too. Please don't delete this live stream. Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna leave it. Should be cataloged. It should be. Um, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. Let me make sure. It's a good question now that you bring that up. I don't know where to find that. Huh. Hmm. That is a good question. I mean, it's supposed to be. I have it like by default set to catalog all this stuff. So I'm hoping it doesn't delete it. All my yeah, all my previous live streams are still here. I don't know. It should be cataloging it. If not, I'll be just as disappointed as you are. But anyway, yeah, I made it just in time. Personally, I'd say stay away from USB mics. Eh, I wouldn't agree. Not anymore. If this was like 10 years ago, yes. But if you're just starting out, um, for basically, so basically, if you let's say you have a budget $400, you can get a $30 interface and a $70 mic, or you can get a $100 USB mic. There's a good chance that the $100 USB mic is actually going to sound better than the cheap interface and cheap XLR mic. Either that or will be very, very close. So the only reason that there's a rule of like staying away from uh, USB mics is they really, really start to sound like garbage a lot quicker below $100. Um, so that's kind of the thing. I wouldn't generally say that USB aren't that good. It really just depends on how much. More than $100, you might be fine as long as it's a name brand, a trusted brand. But below $100, it's a crapshoot. Um, much of a choice at the moment, sadly. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very hard to say. Around $70 to $80. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's zoom down. Here we go. Where are we? Wait a minute. How much did I skip? Oh my gosh. I didn't realize how much had passed. I mean, if I apply pitch shift on Adobe, the audio pans from left channel to right channel. And it feels like the audio is moving around. I have no idea why that would be. I mean, that might be headphones. That might be that you need a better sound card because it's having trouble keeping up or doing real time editing. That could be a lot of things. I've never heard that. I've never heard of that. So I can't really help. Um, uh, Greg, I wouldn't. Might back off the back and forth a little bit. Um, let's not get too personal into people's details. Hi, I'm new here, but so far I've been watching a few videos with CDog VA. Not with about CDog VA. I would love to do a video with CDog VA. I do have one question. Can someone with dyslexia in their voice can become a voice actor and just speak better in general? I mean, I speak better than I read. I mean, you just heard that live. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, dyslexia really shouldn't affect, how you talk. The thing is like basically with dyslexia, you just have to apply more to memory. You have to get better at memorizing stuff, and then once you've basically gotten better at memorizing it, you can you're no longer necessarily reading it. You're not necessarily following along. You're basically just kind of like those are just guides, and you're just going off memory. That's how I do it. So yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. It's totally fine. I struggle with dyslexia, and I've found that it that I suck at live reading. I mean, yes. So that's why anytime someone wants me to do a live audition, I'm just gonna say no. Generally has budget deals that have mics, interfaces, and stuff. So yeah, I bought a BM800 bundle from Amazon. Ooh. Duo, and it has served me well. I recommend getting in touch with him. Thank you. I got my mic for $60, but it was 2 years ago, and I used Honey to. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. It's also a good idea. I think I have. Do I have Honey as one of my things down below? I think so, or at least I used to. Probably used to. Yeah, following a Honey link and getting a free account before buying your voiceover stuff is one way of supporting this channel. I don't think it's there anymore. Rode is a good company. I also think that their stuff is overpriced, but it's good company. They sound good. Great idea. Honey. Okay, Greg, that's some of the points. Well, it does. But for now, I'm taking small steps. Okay. But also watch out for people just really just talking about the microphones. But also watch out for some bundles because it may have some issues with it. I know what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Also learn this the hard way. Sorry, all this is beneath my mic cable. Learn the hard way. Check if your computer has an audio jack. Hope you don't mean the 3.5 millimeter. One of those like, where is it? Yeah, one of those like 3.5 millimeter jacks. Do not use those. Absolutely do not use those. Period. For voiceover ever. If your microphone has those, don't use it. It's not gonna work. It's got to be USB. USB. That is it. Either it's an interface connected USB or it's the microphone connected USB. Do not use those 3.5 millimeter jacks. It's just not. It's not gonna help. Hi, I'm sure HyperX is a good USB mic. All right, you know what? Let's look this up. HyperX. It does not sound familiar. Doesn't look familiar either. Oh, they do more headphones and stuff like that. Okay. I can't really do a review of this, but I will give my initial impressions from just looking at it. It's a mute button on the top of the microphone. Interesting. It again has way too many features. It has the overlapping figure eight, a tighter figure eight. Yeah, so it's got two kinds of figure eight, omnidirectional and cardioid. That's not necessary. You do not need that in a voiceover mic. Stereo. Okay. It does have live monitoring, and it does, or at least I assume, and it's USB, and the volume is a switch on the bottom. It's definitely more of a streamer mic. I don't think it's a voiceover mic. So I unless I tried it, I'd have no idea. Looks interesting. I don't know how it sounds, but looks interesting. Hi, Tim. Been following you since a year and a half. Thank you. You're the best. My pleasure. I'm glad you've enjoyed the content. My suggestion, please make small videos also in which you perform doing voiceover with demonstrations. I have some of those. I already have some videos where I showcase where I, basically show me recording. A lot of them are cartoon hooligans. I stopped doing that because most of the best and most interesting stuff was cartoon hooligans, and it was essentially me doing the same characters over and over and over again. And I didn't want to just do that. And other times it was I didn't have permission from the studio, or the people I was working with to actually record, behind the scenes. So kind of really didn't do too much of that. But if something really interesting comes up, I will do more of that. Just not right now. Um, I will be so much fun to watch. Can you try Mad Libs app? Ooh, interesting. Please try. Interesting. Mad Libs app. I may look that up later. Algeria? Am I saying that right? I'm from Algeria, North Africa. A lot of people from Africa. Interesting. Well, hello. Mm, Um, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking about that, but yeah. Uh, Nice to see you streaming again. Why, hello. Question, Mr. Tim. Does putting a blanket over you while you record help? Ooh, help dampen the sound? Just curious because I hear about that all the time. Also, you're awesome. Thank you. Um, yes, it does, but it depends on the blanket. It depends on the what you're recording. So I know lots of voice actors that when they're on the road, when they're at a hotel, they'll take like the big comforter thing and they'll throw it over themselves with the microphone and they'll kind of like huddle underneath a table or something like that, or off in the corner and they'll record that way. Um, yeah, I would definitely say that kind of thing works better with a small diaphragm like this, which is the same as this, or a shotgun mic, because you are still going to be hearing some of the reverb outside in the space. Um, the whole thing is it's just kind of like it's preventing a lot of your voice from getting out, reflecting off the walls, and then getting back in. You're adding a layer that's kind of dampening some of that. So it does help. It's literally the exact same as like putting up one of those voiceover tents. It's exactly the same. It's the same principle. It's the exact same thing. So yeah, it does help. Just depends on what you're recording, the microphone. Obviously, if you're going to be doing a lot of like yelling, um, then you're still going to be hearing some stuff back through. So just be careful. Um, oh, okay. Voiceover demonstration videos are very impressive to watch and very helpful to learn. Easy. Yeah, I have some of those. You can go watch them. Again, a lot of cartoon hooligans. Haven't done a lot of them, a lot of stuff like that in the past, just because of that. But yeah, I got a couple of those. I'm gonna hop off the stream. Hope you're having a great week. You too. I hope you have a great week. And good luck. And cheers. How about if you cover yourself with a blanket while standing in a narrow space like a closet? It depends on what's in the closet. Um, if the closet has like a lot of clothes in it and like stuff, boxes and stuff like that, and stuff on the ground, it's got carpet. It actually better for you to not cover yourself. It might be better for you to take that blanket and actually like hang it up on one of the walls, hang it up on one of the sides, or to drape it over one of the racks in the closet. It would actually probably be better because if you have the option to get clean sound with less reverberation, that where your voice gets to breathe a little bit, that's actually going to be a lot better than the muffled kind of sound that you're going to get from the blanket. So it depends on what else is in the closet. Depends on how packed and cluttered the closet is. It's the one time having a cluttered, packed closet is actually good. Um, Um, Narrow spaces will make it sound more bassy. Again, if there's not a lot of stuff to break up the frequencies, break up the reverb. Um, if it's just flat walls and it's a narrow box, yeah, it's going to sound boxy, obviously. But if it's got a lot of uneven surfaces, if it's got a lot of clothes, if it's got carpet on the floor, if it's got boxes in corners, and it's got there's no place for the sound wave to bounce back evenly, then you'll probably be fine. But yeah, the my closet had that problem because the ceiling was just basically just this narrow tube, and so I put up a bass trap hanging over me to kind of bring the ceiling down artificially, and that kind of got rid of the boxy sound. So yes, it's true. So I've been voice acting for a year, mostly free gigs on CCC. Yep. But when should I invest in a demo, and how do I get into some bigger projects? Well, for a long time, you're still going to be working off CCC. Don't give up on that. I mean, CCC has bigger projects on it. Just because it's on CCC doesn't mean it's casting call at club doesn't mean it's not worth your time. They have some pretty good stuff on there. They have some pretty good projects. They have some stuff that actually pays. Um, what I would say is, since you've been doing it for a year, and this is something that I said earlier in the stream, if you've been auditioning for a while on castingcall.club, take some of your best auditions and put them together and make a demo. Because if you have to, the problem that a lot of people have, especially going into voiceover, when they try to make their own demo, is that they're not really good writers and they're not really good. They're not really good at creating something that sounds like an actual project. But if you're going and you're doing auditions and they're written well and you perform them well, then that's most of the work right there. And regardless of whether or not you got the role or not, you can actually take these bits, take out, cut out anything specific, and then just put them together, and then maybe put like a music track, very very light music track behind them. Do not have the music or the sound effects overpower your voice. We have to be able to hear your voiceover clearly. That's another huge mistake. We have to be able to hear your performance far above the music and sound effects. Absolutely. But you can go ahead and take these already recorded audio bits, find the ones that you like the best ones, cut them together, make your first demo. And then after that, it's really just you know, um, you just keep auditioning and audition on other platforms. You basically stay on the ones that you're already on. You just keep going, and you'll have a better chance at bigger opportunities the more little projects you have. It's basically like snowballs. You don't not get small projects and then go immediately to big projects. You have to do the small projects. Those are like the veggies. You got to eat your veggies before you can have like the steak and dessert. So you got to do that. So yeah, just keep going. As you go on, when you make a demo, you'll see stuff on Twitter that you'll be able to audition for, or you'll see auditions on other platforms that you'll be able to audition for, and then you'll be able to send in your demos and your resume. And the more you do, the easier it's going to be for someone to say, okay, this person can do that. Because if you've done a whole bunch of characters and a whole bunch of different kind of performances, and that information is readily available, the client can see, even if you didn't 100% land the audition, they can see, okay, they have the skills to be able to tailor their performance to what I need. I'm confident that I could give them direction and they would be able to do it. And that's why resume and you know past work, samples of past work is very very valuable. Okay. Fiverr, it's what he said. Um don't know why, but sure, I agree. Fiverr. Um in Mad Libs, mini cartooned videos. Clips are okay. And we have just speak dialogue record. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, I might check that out. So I've started a Fiverr recently, but of course I'm not getting anything. Any advice? I would have to see your Fiverr. I would have to see your Fiverr. I can't say from here. I'd have to read it. I'd have to look at your uh I'd have to look at your platform and how you've marketed yourself and what your demo video is like and what your information is like and how much you're charging. I'd have to see all that. There's no easy way to answer that. I've tried. I do have a few videos on it that might help, but I mean, without specifics, it's like a 3-hour conversation or a 3-hour monologue. It's not a conversation. Yeah. We need a Discord, bub. I mean, sure. I have one. Tim needs one. Oh, my bad. It's all good. Smiley face. Cool. uh, um, I'm working on one, like I've said before, but I'm not a fan of Discord. And I'd only make it if it was genuinely worth my time and y'all's time. But all right. Thank you so much for your advice. So basically keep up the grind. Yes. Eating the veggies and keep it moving forward. Yes. And I really appreciate the advice. Thank you again. My pleasure. Yes. It's basically you have to keep reminding yourself that this takes a lot of time, that it's never immediate, it's never quick. And the more you remind yourself that it's going to take a lot of time, the more that's going to settle, the more calm and relaxed you're going to be, and the easier it's going to be to move forward. Um, could I link you it via email? Yes. You can link me via email and I will break it down and I will give a thorough review. That's why Tim needs a Discord. We his followers can gather where we can okay. Um I mean, it feels weird when you call everybody my followers. It feels weird. I don't want this to be a cult. I really don't want it to be a cult. No cult stuff. True. A Discord server would be pretty cool. All right. I will look back into that. I will start working on that again. The goal of it would be a place where people could um share scripts. None of this would be for actual auditions. It would just be a place to share scripts or share monologues where people can either record each other's or record their own and then basically just showcase their skills in a place where you can really get to um, stretch your actual performance skills. Because a lot of times we don't get the auditions, we don't get the roles, and we don't get the opportunities to really do the more dramatic and over the top stuff. Not necessarily over the top, but to really do acting. That would be the whole purpose. It wouldn't be so we could stalk each other, and it wouldn't be just for a place for updates. That would be it. Because I want it to be someplace that's unique and different than everyone else's Discord, which is just it's another exactly the same as Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But yeah, that's gonna be it. And also asked me on topics they are struggling with. I mean, yes. It could also be a place where people can do more Q&As. It'd also be a place for Q&As. But again, I don't want it to be the same as everyone else's Discord. Do not want it to be the same as everyone else's Discord because that would bug me if it was just another every other social media platform. So that's gonna be it. I've finally gotten to the end of all of the questions. I can't believe I actually did that. That was quite a few. Yep, pretty far down. And we're almost at 2 hours. So it's probably gonna be it. But I'm gonna linger a little bit just in case there's any more questions coming in and out. Um, but yeah, I need to get some more water. Man. Mm. A little quick reminder for those who just popped in. Yes, again, there are links to my book, which are down in the description. The audiobook is still pending, still waiting on that one, but the paperback and the ebook is available down in the description if you want to go find yourself a copy. Be very much appreciated. I think you're going to like it. Um, so far, I'm waiting for some like serious reviews, but so far everyone that's read it seems to like it, which is kind of disappointing because I wanted someone to tear it apart. I wanted someone to really like rip into it. Yeah, that's what I really wanted. Um, I don't know. I'm just more used to like harsh criticism than I am with everyone being like, "Oh, it's amazing." I don't know what to do with that. But yeah, it has some amazing uh, voiceover talent. Um, uh, Not me, obviously. Doing the audiobook, Marissa Duran. You can go look her up. She's been in some animes. And Marissa Falsone, who is a good friend of mine and is, I mean, just the sweetest, cutest, most adorable human being I think I've ever worked with. Both of them are going to be on the audiobook, and it'll be about an hour and 45 minutes. If this sells enough, both the book, the ebook, and the audiobook when it comes out, I will produce a version that has music and sound effects, um, to give you a little bit more of like a full picture, full audio picture, and I will post that on YouTube, the full thing, but only if it sells enough. If it doesn't, then you'll just have to settle with the audiobook that's coming out. But I would kind of like to do a full version. But anyway, that's it. Um, yeah, let's see. Are there any other questions? A few of those exist. Big VO scripts. Uh, dump dumps. Big VO script dumps to have chats and share. Um the Discord thing. Right. Yeah, there are some, but okay, another thing that bothers me about Discord, especially when it's professional voice actors who set up a Discord, for the most part, they kind of like leave it up to the fans and they take no part in it. Um, and if people are coming to a Discord for my advice. Oh, good night, by the way. Um, uh, if people are coming to my Discord for my opinion, my advice, or anything like that, I would want to be involved. I don't want to just leave it off to the administrations, administrators or whatever. And I don't know that I would be able to dedicate that much time. And I don't want it to be my server, but then all the advice comes from other people, especially if it turns out like I don't agree with the advice. Um, so that's kind of one reason that I kind of don't want to do that. I would rather it just be something for performance and something fun, that's unique. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of it. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm actually getting a migraine, and I need to go shopping for some migraine medicine. And my cat hasn't bothered me. Not my cat, the cat. I'm not gonna call it my cat. Cat hasn't bothered me in a while, so I need to go make sure it's not dead. And yeah, that's gonna be it. So thank you guys for watching. Hope this answered a lot of your questions. Um, it's good seeing you guys, and hopefully I'll be back with some real videos sometime very soon. And then yeah, get the ball rolling for this new year. But it's been busy, so I can't guarantee anything yet. But yeah, it's gonna be it. So thank you guys, and I'll catch you later. Peace. My pleasure.